Hello and good morning, and welcome to today's daily tarot reading. Before we begin, if you have not already done so, go ahead and take this second to subscribe and click that button below and make sure you ting the notification bell so you're notified when I upload new videos. And with that being said, I will draw today's energy card. Okay, today's energy is the scribe. Now, the scribe is all about um, thinking about things, making sure you're taking the right path, getting as much knowledge about a situation as you possibly can, and then forming that plan from that guided information. Now, a lot of times today, information is um, being either hidden or information is not information at all, it's misinformation, and we really have to dig to make sure that we get the proper information, do we get the right information? And we look at things, we also want to look at things from all different perspectives. Um, Try thinking outside the box. I know that is a term that a lot of people have um, used before in the past, and it's kind of has this like little mystery about it, but it's pretty important that you look at things from a outside level. Look at things from the outside in and see the whole big picture before you make any decisions about going forward. We also want to make sure that we're writing everything down. If you are in a business um, and you need to make sure that everything is done in a proper way, if things are not going as planned, we need to take a step back and do some more research, get as many inputs as possible from outside observers, possibly, if you can find them, and see what other people have to say about the situation. And they could offer some really valuable um, insights and advice into what you're doing that can turn things around if things aren't going the way that you plan. Um, and also make sure you're writing down every single little thing. If there is even a minor expense, if you're, of course, in that business aspect, write down every little minor aspect and every little minor expense, and that way you know exactly, where your resources are going, how they're being used, if they're being used effectively, and you can tweak some things that will make the whole process much more efficient, especially time-wise, money-wise, resource-wise. And if this has to do with your family, sit down and redo a budget. Make sure you're leaving yourself a little buffer, especially when it comes to resources and time. That way, everything is running more efficient for yourself, your family, um, and you're not lacking in any sort of way. So today is all a mental aspect of the day. Let's do research. It's um, looking at the whole picture. It's finding that balance between time and resources, and really making sure every little bit of it is planned out, so everybody knows what they're doing, when they're doing it, and what is needed in order to accomplish whatever task is necessary. So, with that energy in mind, I will draw today's daily reading. So that came out reversed. Okay, and the first card out is that Knight of Swords card, which is saying you pretty much have a general idea of how things are supposed to go and the way you would like them to go. So let's build on that. Let's take that scribe energy and really build on that that planning um, and focus again on research. It's not so much as making sure you cement the whole plan down today. But let's focus on really finding the information that we truly need and sorting out the information that's just causing confusion. With this card being reversed, it is more to do with um, the plan not going as expected and having to learn to pivot and solve problems along the way. So that really brings in that scribe energy as in that research aspect and looking at the big picture instead of um, focusing on the tiny little things. Let's focus on the big things and what the end result is, um, what we want. What is it that the end result is that we want? And then work our way back by doing research on the steps that it takes in order to get to this point. And then we have that Four of Chalices coming in, which is allowing us to bring in that intuitive energy, bring in that daydreaming, bring in that mental aspect of everything, but not lose focus on what we really need to get done. So it is bringing in that mental aspect as well, but in a more intuitive and envisionary aspect with that Four of Chalices. And then we bring in the Fool card, which is really saying we are starting and taking that next step, and we're doing it in a more confident position, and we are doing it in a more well-rounded and informed manner, which is again bringing in that scribe energy. It is focusing on that information and where we're going to take it and moving forward with confidence, with because we've done that research today. We have really looked at things from all different angles. We've gotten that input from other people. And when we're talking about other people, we have the Seven of Wands here. And this is really saying that even though other people have that input today, we know what we want. We know what direction we want. And sometimes when people, like I said before, when they give us misinformation, we have to learn to be decisive when it comes to who is telling the truth, who is giving us misleading information, and really sort all that out and stand up for our beliefs and stand up for where we want to go and what we want to do, because there is going to be some energy that is going to be trying to lead in a false direction. So really make sure that you are cemented um, in that final result that you want and getting the information you need in order to finalize those steps to get there without allowing that false information to come in. And then we have the Eight of Swords over here. It's another, excuse me, it's another um, information card. But usually when this is upright, it is that information overload. It is information that you can't sort out, and it's just exhausting you because you can't figure it out. This Eight of Swords is reversed, which is a great sign for us, which is saying to me that with all of this research, with all of this um, planning and guiding ourselves towards what we want. And this could be, like I said before, this could be about your family, this could be about your finances, this could be about your job, this could be about um, a new business aspect or a new direction in your business career or what have you. But the information that you are getting is clearing things up for you. It's not confusing you. It's not taking you down a rabbit hole. It's clarifying information today. And that's what we really want to focus on, is the information that we are receiving from that scribe and from every single one of these cards. It is pushing us into that direction of clarification and cementing that plan that we're going to have, cementing those steps on what you need to do, making sure that we have the resources that we need and where we're going to get them from, how we're going to go about doing this. Talk to people in your neighborhood. This is a time where other people around us um, are looking out for each other, because it just seems like um, the closer we are to home, the more that people care about what's going on with us. So go around the neighborhood, talk to your neighbors, see what they're up to, see how they're doing. I know that in the past year or so, we've been told to stay away, but now things are getting, we see that light at the end of the tunnel. We are getting out more. People are starting to get back out into society, especially since it's summer. And with everything going on, with the people getting more confident in the way things are going forward in the end of these lockdowns, we can get out there and talk to our neighbors, get more involved in your communities, and make sure that those communities are going, and those people in those communities have what they need. And ask for help if you need help. Ask for, where you can find different things if you need to find different resources. And a lot of times you're going to find that your neighbors are very willing to help you out, to get whatever resources it is that you need. And then we have the Sun card coming in here, which is another great um, card, because, like I said, it backs up that getting into your community card. It is, if you can see, there's many different people in here. It is that community card. It is that family card. It is that generational card. It is talking to many different people. It is getting many different perspectives and angles on the situation in order to clarify and find what we need, the information and resources that we need, because they are readily available within our communities. So don't be afraid to ask around. And then we have the or the stars card over here, which is a great one coming out too. Now that stars card is really telling us that um, we know, it's on top of that reversed uh, Cave of Swords. So our directionality is spot on. It is um, that light at the end of the tunnel that I was talking about. It is that guidance that we have been seeking that is really coming in strong, with the intellectual aspect of the day, with that research is, and that clarification that we're getting from all of our research. And then we have the Emperor coming in on this Four of Cups, which is helping us to really realize the extent and the vastness of what we can really turn this situation into. This seems to revolve around security and financial planning, resource planning for the future, and setting goals for ourselves, our family, our business, whatever this result revolves around. It is that goal setting. So once we get all of this clarification, there is going to be help um, from that clarification itself, in the form of goal setting, in the form of really nailing down what you want to do, when you want to do it, what you need to bring in, what you need in order to um, prosper even more. Uh, is really getting that basis down before you move forward, because um, the more you have set up and as your foundation. For example, like setting up a workshop. Once you have each station set up to where each person is doing a specific task, the faster things go. It's kind of like that assembly line in a factory. There is a station for each part that goes on a vehicle. Let's say, let's use that for an example, building a vehicle. There is a specific person that puts a specific bolt in a specific place in a vehicle, and that vehicle runs down that assembly line. That's kind of what this day is adding up to. It is that clarification of each step along the way, and what needs to be done, and when it needs to be done, and how it needs to be done, and designating a certain person to do it. That way each person knows what they're supposed to do on a daily basis, and gets things done much faster, much more efficient, and you can make progress, um, substantial, and instead of everybody focusing on the project as a whole. So breaking things down into little bitty steps can really help to move things along. And then we have the Queen of Swords on that Fool card. So it is that confidence of moving forward. And that Queen of Swords is that planning person right along with that Emperor card. So all of this information, all of this planning that is going on today, it may take a little bit out of you because we have that 10 of Wands on top of that 7 of Wands up there, which is stating that there may be a little bit of mental exhaustion. Of course, that's expected with all of this planning, all of this research that you're doing, all of this goal setting, and setting those minor little details of who's doing what and when. So there may be by the end of the day, you may be feeling mentally exhausted, but it is a good mental exhaustion. It is one where by the end of the day that you can put down all of this research. You can stop, the planning process, and what you're doing moving forward. So you can put down and really take a rest by the end of the day. And then we have the reversed Cave of Pentacles over here, which is saying that you've already done the research, and that clarification that is coming in from that Eight of Swords reversed is really setting your mind at ease that you've got things going in the right direction. You no longer have to worry about doing that research. You no longer have to worry about observing because you've done all of that, and you can rest. You can take that, um, get get that good night's sleep before you move on to the next step. And that Cave of Pentacles is saying that you are moving, since it's reversed, you are moving. The upright Cave of Pentacles, as you can see, he is really, he's sitting down, and he's just taking notes. With the reversed, it means that he's getting up and he's moving. So there is an action card. With this being reversed, it is that movement, it is that finally moving on to the next step. And that next step is that talking to the community and using everything that community can bring to you and benefit from you, and really forming, um, taking all of that, whether it be information, from the outsider point of view, whether it be resources that are brought to you from the community and brought in, or um, whether it is actual money and monetary, support from other people. You're really putting it all together by the end of the day, and really focused on coming, the next day after this, to really hitting the ground running with that action, and taking action on all of this that is going on, all of this clarification, all of this planning. And then we have another great card here. This is the Eight of Fire. Now, this Eight of Fire is that, um, using that creative passion that you have, with what you're doing, and really focusing instead of bringing in that energy of daydreaming like this four over here. This Eight of Fire is, coming in, and it is bringing that expansion. It is bringing that little bit of daydreaming, but it's also focusing you. It's also, like putting you in the middle of the storm, but you're confident in the middle of the storm because you have it all handled. This is that energy of, emotions being stirred because of all of the clarification, because of all of the resources that are coming to you from the community. You can really allow yourself to open up intuitively and use all of these gifts that are being brought to you. And then we have the Maiden of Air coming in on that Four of Cups, on that Emperor card, and really focusing, or that's not the Emperor. Yeah, it is the Emperor. Okay, on that Emperor card and that Maiden of Air card, it's bringing in that fun inspiration. Inspiration can hit at any time. And with this, the Eight of Fire and then the Maiden of Air right next to each other, it is listening to that intuition, because that inspiration and um, that the sparks of inspiration are really going to be hitting you, especially when it comes to communicating with everybody involved here, especially that communication with the community involvement in all of that. We Today we get that opportunity to make something fun and happy out of all of that communication, and bring in that inspiration and have fun with it. When that all that hard work of research is over with, and getting out and doing the footwork and getting everybody's input, there's real inspiration coming in from both of these cards. And then we have the Litha card over here. And with that Fool card, with that Queen of Swords card, with this card being reversed, it's saying that we are no longer waiting. When this card is upright, it is that time of waiting before we see our rewards. We are going to see those rewards very quickly. With this card being reversed, it's saying that they are coming, and they are coming fast. And it may even surprise us a little bit on how fast our rewards are coming from all of this hard work that we're doing today. And it's not really physically hard work, it's mental hard work. So keep that in mind. And then we have the crone of water over here, which is saying to remember what people are saying to you, because you may need, even though you may not need that information right now, you may need it in the future. It may come in very handy if you've had a conversation with somebody in the community and it sticks out to you. Put it in the back of your mind. If you don't need that information right now, put it in the back of your mind, because you may need that information later. So these memories are going to be important for you in the future. So that is what this crone of air really, or crone of water really represents, is putting those memories in a bottle and pretty much making sure they're there. Um, Even if you have to write them down. That way, you know who you talked to, you know what you talked about, and what resources or information that they had to offer, because it may be valuable to you in the future. And then we have the Four of Air on top of the Eight of Swords reversed and that Knight of Pentacles reversed. And this is saying, listen, look at the signs that are all around you. You have signs of prosperity all around you. You have signs of directions all around you. Pay attention to everything. We see a coin here, we see a four-leaf clover here, we see crow, a cat. Pay attention to all of these signs and symbols around you and really take notice, because you've been ignoring them lately. You see those warning signs, you see those signs of directionality telling you what direction to go to, but you've been kind of putting it off. So really pay attention today. And then we have the Ace of Elements reversed over here, which is saying that, you know, it's on top of the Magician card, which these two cards are basically, mean, bring in the same energies. But this one is reversed, which is saying that you may be unfocused with, even though all of this research of what you've done, and the unfocused is coming from this mental exhaustion. So really clear things up in your mind and get the rest before you make those final decisions on how to use and utilize all of the resources that are being given to you today. So make sure you get your rest, make sure you're focused before you take action. Now, I hope you enjoyed today's reading. Before you go, make sure you like and share this video, and don't forget to subscribe and ting that bell so you're notified when I upload new videos, and I will see you tomorrow.